Hello. Today is the 28th of April, about 8:05, 8:04 p.m. here in New York, and we are going to start our day one session of the April 2014 Selenium training. My name is Irfan, and I want to welcome you all. Thank you for being here on a Monday evening. And we will be running this course for about next 4 weeks. We will be meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, since this training is conducted from New York. So we will be doing it in the evenings, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the next 4 weeks. Okay, what exactly are we going to be covering as a part of this course? That is listed on our website. So if you have not already been to our website, I invite you to go take a look at TrainingRite.com. And on TrainingRite.com, you can find a lot of courses that we offer. And if you intend to take more than one course, you can get the details about it by visiting these different pages up there. Let's focus on this particular course. What we will be doing is the details of the course is down here. So let me take you down to Selenium, and as you can see, this is basically what we have as a part of this course. Now, let's take a look at who exactly this course is for. If you are a manual tester, well, we welcome you. Because the prerequisite for this course is somebody who has some sort of exposure to software testing. Doesn't matter if you have done it through a course that you have taken either from TrainingRite or from someplace else, but as long as you have exposure to the software testing concepts, then you are welcome here to do this course. Now, if you're a manager, if you're managing a team of testers and would like to know what Selenium is all about, then of course we welcome you again, because this course will definitely be talking about anything and everything that you need to know as a Selenium tester and as a manager who is going to manage a team of testers. Of course, if you are a software test engineer, of course, this is the right place. Sometimes, as the network admins, you need to know what's going on in the testing world. So probably you just want to find out what exactly the Selenium is all about. So you might have a little bit of a challenge when it comes to writing the scripts if you don't have any exposure to the concepts of testing. But well, I mean, sit back, relax, be here for next 4 weeks, every Mondays and Wednesdays, and then you would learn a lot. That I can promise. That is a part of this TrainingRite. The whole group here, we are very dedicated, hardworking people, and we'll try our best to impart or transfer the knowledge in a very, very meaningful manner. So let's see what exactly we're going to be covering as a part of this course. I'm not going to go and then read this little, bullets in here as what I intend to cover. But in general, this is basically what is the agenda. What we would like to do is we would like to give you a complete idea about automation testing using Selenium. So now majority of you folks would be knowing what automation testing is. If you don't, very briefly, I'm going to introduce you that you all know that there is going to be some application that you will be required to test. Now, notice I mentioned application, right? So today, in this time, this is application can be broadly classified under 3 areas. There could be something like a client-server applications, right? What exactly are client-server applications? These are applications which are accessed within the walls of within the boundaries of your company. So if you're at the help desk, or if you are doing the billing of your application, if you're doing the invoicing, if you're doing the accounts receivable, accounts payable, you could have an application dedicated, designed particularly for your business. And you could be Bank of America, you could be Verizon, you could be whoever it is. So every company, majority of them, they have what is called client-server applications. Now, this is slowly, dwindling away. This is meaning today you don't really find a lot of client-server applications, which are basically also referred to as desktop apps. Meaning that these applications would be sitting on your desktop machines, and developers would be going and then building it using programming languages like C++. They would be using, let's say, Java, or they would be using some .NET language like C#.NET or VB.NET, and basically they would be using these languages, and then they would be writing the application, and these applications would get deployed on what is called the desktop machines of a company. Now, since we are talking about the topic of applications, and I started off with client server being one of the applications. The other applications which are out there are something called web applications. Now, what are web applications? A web application is something which runs in browsers. So as we know today, majority of the applications that are being built today are web applications, meaning that whether you have Internet Explorer, whether you have Google Chrome, whether you have Safari as the browser, or whether you have Opera, or whether you have Firefox, today the applications, when they are built by the developers, they need to run on all of these different browsers. So the application could be specific to a business, right? So we are not really discussing the domains. Now, there are different domains. If we talk about, there is a telecom domain, there is a finance domain, there is a retail domain, there is a transportation domain. So there are different domains. To give you an example of telecom, if you are working for Verizon, AT&T, or different part of the world, like if you're in UK, then in that case British Telecom, or I don't know, there is something called a Mytel company in British. So bottom line here is any telecommunication application, that comes under the telecom domain. Likewise, finance, right? So anything to do with, finance, meaning that if it is a financial application of any banking industry, let's say Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Chase Manhattan. So it really doesn't matter if you're working for telecom or finance or pharmaceuticals like Merck, or like, I don't even want to go and then talk about the name of the companies, but it could be any particular domain. So our course is not necessarily targeting any particular domain. What we are focusing at is how we can be going and testing an application. And the focus of this course is particularly the web application. So a web application, when it is built by a group or a team of developers, would be running in these browsers. So we have to go and we have to test them. Right? Now, since we started, again, discussing about the applications, I did explain you about the client server. I did tell you about the web applications. There is a huge growth in something called mobile apps, right? So what this course is about is making you go and do the automation with this web application. So even though there are client-server applications, there are web applications, there are mobile applications, this particular course will be targeting the web application testing. So in other words, this can also be called as Selenium Web Automated Testing Training, right? Okay, now when you hear the word Selenium, a lot of people, they quickly jump on and they say, oh, are you covering WebDriver? Right? So now, because they might have heard a lot about something called a WebDriver. So we're going to be discussing as what exactly is a WebDriver. And if you know about a WebDriver, or if you don't know about a WebDriver, do you really just need to know only about WebDriver, or there is something more in Selenium other than WebDriver. So in this course, I'm going to start discussing and then going over each and everything that is needed so that once you get out of this course, fast forward 4 weeks from now, and time will pass and 4 weeks will pass, and after 4 weeks, where do you stand? Well, this is what is going to happen. Of course, you're not doing this course just for the sake of killing time or as a hobby. The objective, I guess, the goal or the motive is for you to get a good, decent job. So let's go and take a look if there are any jobs in your area where you happen to live, right? So DICE being a site, a technical job site, so I'm going to go and do Selenium, right? And I'm not going to mention anything like a WebDriver or anything, just Selenium, right? Or maybe Selenium testers or anything like that. And here, I'm not going to give the city or state. So let's see how many jobs are out there as far as Selenium is concerned. Now, believe it or not, right? Believe it or not, now it says that 1170, but it could be a combination of that. So that means that almost about like 1,000 jobs as we speak at this time, right? Now, I have to break a news for you folks. Believe it or not, many a times there are companies looking for Selenium testers and they don't find one. They don't find one. I mean, hard to believe, but that's exactly the case. They don't find a good Selenium tester. Now, I want to underscore, I want to highlight the word good, right? So there are Selenium testers, but then there are some good Selenium testers. Now, a wise man, once told me that, what exactly is a good tester? So he said, it's not necessary that somebody has to know everything about, everything for him or her to be good, as long as they can get the job done. At the end of the day, if I am the manager and if you are on my team and if you deliver, and the delivering part from your side is getting the job done by the end of the day or end of the week, end of the sprint time, if you're going through the agile process and all that. So if you get the job done, and basically that's what me as a manager I need from you. So what is needed to get the job done? What is the job here? What are we trying to do? The job here is to do automated testing. Right? So if you're a manual tester, you already know what is manual testing, right? So to give you an example of a manual testing, I'm just going to take you right like this one, DICE, right? So how can you prove that this site is working? Well, there are some features of this site. There are some functionality of this site. One of the functionality of this site is if you come in here, you should be able to register. So if you, when the developer had built this site, if you have to go and test it, so there will be a test case wherein you say that when I go open up a browser like Google Chrome or Firefox and I navigate to dice.com and there is a link in here, when I click on the link and when I enter, let's say my username or my email and my password, when I click on login, I should be able to log in, right? So that's a test case. So manual way of testing it would be you would come in here and then you would do that, right? So how would you do it in automation? Well, for that, there are some tools out there that will help you do the testing of automation. So what are you testing? You are testing applications. What kind of applications are you testing? You can test client server, right? You can test a web and you can test mobile, but Selenium helps you to test, right? Web application. Selenium cannot do client server. Selenium cannot do client server. Selenium can do web application testing. Can Selenium do mobile testing? Yes, it can do mobile testing. Then why are we not covering mobile testing? I'll answer that question, in a few minutes from now. All right. But right now, I'll give you a heads up that mobile testing, it's a huge thing. You cannot be doing a mobile testing in like one session. So that is the reason we have made mobile testing by itself a course here. So that's a 4 weeks course. If you go in here And if you look into mobile automated testing, what we cover in there. So that's a core course by itself, right? So there's a lot of stuff that we got to be covering in there, right? So it won't do any justice if I try to say that yes, I will be covering mobile testing in Selenium, because that would be a course by itself. All right, so that is the reason that we cannot, because of the lack of time or whatever, right? So if you really want to see how mobile testing is done, then we invite you to come and then take this class with us, right? So now you would say that how many classes am I supposed to take? Then the answer to that is, well, it all depends like who you are, where you stand in life, right? If you're beginning right now in this career of software testing, then I would say that the more the better it is. And the more is, what is the definition of more? It depends from person to person. So in your case, the need of the hour is for you to go and get a job, and the way you can get a job is if you know one or two tools, automated testing tools. So that brings back to a very interesting question. So if you are going to test applications, right, you need some tools to test. So what are those tools? So let's talk a little bit about some of the tools which are out there. And for a second, let me start up. So now you all know, or if not all, majority of you know, and you might have heard that QTP, right? There is something called QTP. So what is QTP? QTP is a tool that helps do automated testing, right? So if you want to do automated testing, you can use QTP. QTP comes from a company called HP, Hewlett Packard, right? Okay, so QTP, right, is a competitor of Selenium, because Selenium also does the same thing. Selenium is also an automated testing tool, right? Now, what is the difference between QTP and Selenium? Well, first thing is QTP is a commercial tool, right? Meaning that you have to you have to spend some dollars in order to get QTP license. Now, so these days, I mean, we're technically not in recession. We came out of recession, at least here in the United States. Companies are beginning to do good, and economy is continuing to grow. But who doesn't want to conserve cash? Who doesn't want to save money? Everybody wants to save money, whether it's the companies, whether it is departments. We have, we should wisely spend money. So now, lately, what it has been noticed that a lot of companies they're trying to spend the money in a wise way, and that is before you start to do any testing with QTP, you have to buy license, and each license is somewhere around $10,000 and plus. So for a tester, even to lift his finger to write his first line of code, there is a minimum investment of $10,000 in the tool itself. So imagine that if this is a bigger project, you need like 2 or 3 or 4 testers. So you're talking about almost like $50,000 of investment, right off the bat. So, before even you do anything, you have a $50,000 investment compared to Selenium, where Selenium is free. Basically, it is an open source. It is an open source tool, so it is free. Now, again, there's a misconception that people think that if something is free, maybe there is no value attached to it, right? Maybe it can do much, right? Maybe there is not something significant you could do with Selenium, because QTP, if it is like $10,000, that means that it can do a lot more than what Selenium can. Guess what, right? To put that misconception, right, to rest, a company of the magnitude of Google, they adopted Selenium, and they start to test everything with Selenium. Now, Google, I mean, looking at the stock of Google is more than $1,000 stock, right? And HP stock is $33. I mean, it went down to even like $20. So the company was almost like going bankrupt, and then they slowly came back. I mean, the stock price doesn't reflect the value of a company, but what I'm trying to bring to your attention that, of course, we all agree that Google is a huge company. So if Google is adopting Selenium, they're saying that Selenium is something good, we are using it for testing of our applications, then I get a feeling that maybe it's a good thing, right? So it's not about just me, it's it's the whole technical world slowly trying to adapt Selenium. For what? One big reason is it is free, right? So that's one of the big reasons. The other reason is Selenium is basically compare. I mean, I don't really have to. I mean, it's very difficult to compare these two tools because while you try to show the good things of one tool, you're trying to people get an impression that I'm trying to put down the other tool, but it's not that way. Every tool has got its pluses and minuses. So let's talk about the major differences in here. The major difference here is QTP can do client-server testing. QTP can do web testing, but QTP has a little bit of an issue when it comes to mobile testing and all that, and it is quite expensive. They are partnering with a third party out there to help them to do mobile testing and all that. So there are certain advantages and disadvantages going with QTP. Likewise with Selenium, the good thing about Selenium is, of course, it is free. The second thing is it is being used by a lot of companies out there, so that is going to be in our benefit, because if a lot of companies are going to adopt it, that means that many more jobs are going to open up. If there are more jobs opening up, that means that I don't really have to be afraid or scared of keeping my job, because if I'm good at it, I can keep my legs on my table and then demand what I want, because I'm good at it. I can do it, and if they don't pay me or if they don't treat me good, I'm just gonna get out of there and find another company wherein I could use my skill. So that's where you will see that the market will go with Selenium, because there are a lot of companies out there who are implementing Selenium. Now, the sad part of Selenium is there are not that many good testers out there. So again, coming back to what is a good tester? A good tester is not necessarily somebody who knows everything of everything. Again, as long as you can get the job done. Now, how you can get the job done? Well, that's where companies like ours, we step in to help you, to guide you, to bring you to a level that you can begin to understand and get the whole big picture. And in the next 4 weeks, that is exactly the goal. I mean, if you are putting your trust in me, in my company, to make you learn Selenium, now it is an equal responsibility on our part that we transfer the knowledge, and we transfer the knowledge in a sincere way, in a way that it can be of benefit to you. So how are we going to do it? We're not going to cover some silly stuff here and there. We will be covering something which the real world is going to use. So meaning that once you graduate from this course, once you fast forward 4 weeks, once you are done, immediately you will be able to float your resume out. We will help you with the resumes and all that. You're going to be floating your resume out, and depending on what you put on your resume, you're going to have tons of people calling you already. So again, not all 5 fingers are of the same size. So what I say doesn't apply to everybody out there. So it all depends like where you are in life, right? So when I say in life, in the testing life, right? So if you're beginning right now, probably you have to put in a little more effort. Your resume has to look good by putting in more tools. So we invite you to go and then take some other courses. Of course, QTP is a good course. You can also take SOAP UI, which is another good course you can take. You can take Ruby Cucumber. You can take Coded UI. So there are multiple courses. Now, you cannot take each and every course out there. So we will help you individually. When you discuss, when you call us, we will go over your case, and then we can suggest you, we can guide you what you should be doing. But since you came here for Selenium, so let us focus on Selenium and talk what we are going to do as far as Selenium is concerned. You all know at this point that Selenium is going to help you test applications, and our focus is the applications that we will be testing is a web application. So when it comes to web application testing, Selenium, as I said, is an open source tool. Open source meaning that it's not like you get something, you click, and then it gets installed, and then all is done and all is dandy and everything is good. No, Selenium, because of the fact that it is free, imagine that there are a lot of moving parts in it. So if you, I don't know about today, but I remember in my previous life when I was growing up in my country, by the way, I'm from India, and the place where we used to live, right across the block, we had uh, a watch company, right? I mean, so the guy used to repair watches. And so I remember my dad taking me over there, and I was so mesmerized looking at the guy, because he would open the watch and then there are like 100 different moving parts in it, right? And this guy is an old guy. He's not even dressed properly, not even properly combed, and he has something to his eye, and I can tell you right now, probably 90% of you guys are like scratching your head, like, what is he talking about, right? Because you guys are probably like born in 90s, or some like late 80s. By that time, digital was coming along, but earlier it used to be like all analog or manual watches. People used to repair that, and so the bottom line is there used to be a lot of moving parts. If one little thing, if the second's hand, if it gets, if it is not running, he had to completely dissect, open everything, and put all those bits and pieces together, right, to make that second's hand. Today, what do? We just throw it away and then get another one, right? So there is no value tied to it today. But the idea, what I'm trying to relate here is to make Selenium work like that, there are so many moving parts, right? There are so many things in Selenium for you to say that, yes, I'm an expert of Selenium. So what are those different things in Selenium that you need to know? Well, so very briefly, I'm going to talk to you and tell you that these are the different things that you would be knowing in this course. Not because I have to spend 4 weeks or 8 sessions, so I have to teach you, all of this. No, I will not be teaching you anything which is not important from, the professional, job or your project's point of view. So anything and everything that is needed out there is what I'm going to be teaching you. So Selenium as itself comes in sort of like 3 forms. There is something called Selenium IDE, there is something called Selenium RC server, and there is something called WebDriver. Now you would say, what do you mean it comes in 3 forms? So with Selenium, if you're using Selenium, you can be using IDE of Selenium and still do the automation testing. Or you can be using RC server of Selenium and still do the automation testing. Or you can be using the WebDriver part of the Selenium and do the automation testing. Now you would say, why they have given you 3, right? So every tool, every automated testing tool has something called a record and run feature, right? So you should be able to, if this is your application, in the application, let's say there is a username, and then there is a password, and then there is this login button. So when you come and enter your username, when you come and enter your password, when you click on this, when you do things like that, there is something in every automated testing tool. There's a feature called record. So whatever actions you perform on the application, everything is being recorded. And once all of these things are recorded, then you can replay, you can run them back. So when you run them, whatever actions that you have recorded, they will automatically go and they will get executed again. So all that feature of recording and running and all that, that is available in Qtp, that is available in Selenium and many other tools. So that record and run feature is offered through something called IDE, right? So because we need to know how to record and run, I will be covering IDE. Okay. Now, believe it or not, I will be covering it today, and hopefully we'll be done with that. Right? We'll be done with the IDE, so no need for us to even go back. I mean, maybe I will occasionally take you back into IDE, but our focus of this course is not necessarily IDE. So RC Server is another flavor of Selenium. Using RC Server, we can be doing our testing. So RC Server is a sort of like deprecated right now, meaning that it's not being used right now, right? Meaning any new project that you're going to be working on, chances are they are not going to use RC Server, right? Now, then you would say that why would you spend your time showing us RC Server when it is deprecated, it's not being used? Well, there will be situations wherein, a lot of investment has been made in Selenium in the past, like 4, 5, 6 years. So people have been using Selenium. So let's say a company about 2 years back or 3 years back, they had invested a lot and all their scripts were developed in RC Server. And they're using those scripts even today. And the guy or the team or the group who had developed those scripts, for whatever reason, they left the company. So the company needs a Selenium guy or a Selenium person who has the expertise in RC Server so that they can maintain those scripts. They can maintain them. And if there is any new development which is being done, then you could do it in WebDriver. So if I totally ignore RC Server, then you will lose that opportunity. If there is an opportunity very close to your house, because majority of the time, what do we prefer? I mean, we prefer to not move. We prefer to stay, find a job closer to our place. In United States, how many states are there in United States? You all would say, oh, there are 50 states, right? 48 they are on the land, and 2 Alaska and your Hawaii, right? So even if you don't care about Alaska and Hawaii, so still there are 48 states. Every state, right? I happen to live in New Jersey, very close to New York. I mean, I can literally, walk to New York, not walk, but it takes about like 10-15 minutes for me to be in the city, in New York City. So that close I'm to Manhattan. So every state has got at least 2 or 3 major cities. Let's take Dallas. Dallas has got Austin, has San Antonio, has Dallas, and I mean, I'm talking about Texas. So Texas has, Houston, and so about 4 cities. Likewise, if you take California, you have, San Francisco, blah, 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 right? For LA and San Diego and, Sacramento. So every state. So you would say, what is your point? Where are you going with it? So what I'm saying is, even if we drop it down to 2 major cities every state, so there are 50 states, that means that 100 opportunities. So we can find a job in this 100 places. But guess what? I'm talking about myself, and I guess it applies to majority of you. We all want it to be closer to our house. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the most maybe like an hour. I don't want to drive anything more than an hour. It should be like within an hour from where I live. Well, so now all of a sudden, from 100 chances that we have, we throw away 99 out of the window. We say that, no, I don't want to consider that. I just need my job next to my, where I live. So if all other 99 positions, even if you leave that, now what are the chances that you will find something very close to your house? I will tell you, if you know anything and everything that I am going to show you in this next 4 weeks, many a times in the past, people, they have come, they have taken these courses, and then sometime even the course is not complete. They just, just to test the waters, they throw out their resume, they float their resume, and then, believe it or not, they have interviews lining up, and then they will repeat just the same thing like what they are learning in here. And then they have jobs, and these jobs, they're good paying jobs, depending on how much, again, you know. The jobs, they go from somewhere between $45 per hour to even up to like $75 per hour, depending on what part of the country you are in. If you're closer to New York, if you're closer to Boston, or closer to, let's say, West Coast, you can almost demand that kind of a money, right? And I'm not talking about this as an entry level. I mean, I'm talking about somebody who already is in software testing, and you have the knowledge of the other tools, but now you want to get into Selenium. You can go up to that. So let's take a conservative. Let's take a middle number, right? So that will be like, let's say $60. So $60 per hour is a good, decent salary. Again, depending on what part of the country you are in. So in order to get that $60 per hour, you have to know the following. You have to know, a little bit of IDE, a little bit of RC, majority of WebDriver. So our focus of this course, right, is WebDriver. That's what basically we'll be doing, right? And what we will be doing, we will not be creating simple, record and run scripts. We will be writing. I'll be showing you everything, how to create, how to write scripts, right? Because your job is to write scripts. Now, when somebody hear the word script, that they say that, does that mean that I have to code? I'll say that, yeah, you have to code. Then they will say that, I think I'm in the wrong place because I'm not a programmer. Now, did I ever say that you have to be a programmer? No, you don't have to be a programmer. We have to code, we have to write scripts, but we need to know programming. Of course, we need to programming on a very, very basic level, right? Basic meaning that to a point that we can get the job done, and the job is all about creating automated scripts. Now, if I'm going into some depth and describing you some more details of what exactly the scripts which we'll be doing, we have to go and create basically frameworks. So we will be going and creating a framework. Right. So now, what is a framework? How do we create that? That's all this course is all about. So in this course, you will be learning to build frameworks. And while building the frameworks, we will be using either WebDriver or RC server to do that. So since I said that this is going to be deprecated, so we'll be focusing on WebDriver. Now, while building the frameworks, there are already some ready-made, right, frameworks which are available for us. Those are JUnit framework. There is something called a TestNG framework. Remember, I told you that there are a lot of moving parts in becoming a Selenium tester, and those moving parts is not just knowing about the IDE. You have to know, of course, RC server, you have to know WebDriver, you have to know a little bit of JUnit, you have to know TestNG, and then there is something called Ant, you have to know about that. There is something called Maven that you have to know something about Maven. Then there is Selenium GRID. Then there is something called page objects, right? So these are different topics that we will be covering as a part of this course. Now, many a times I have people asking me, I have to disclose something. I don't want you to think that, I'm a programmer or I have some experience with, Java or because I don't. And do you think I can handle it? I can manage it, right? This is the question majority of the times people ask. Here is the answer. I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. There is something called, rocket science, right? If you want to work for NASA, right, then there is rocket science. There are crazy algorithms. You have to be super, super, super duper smart, and your brain is like emitting like I don't know what. I mean, so you got to be totally different, very smart guy to do that, right? Okay, Selenium is, thank God, Selenium is not rocket science, meaning that, at least I'm talking about myself, I don't really have to be like a super duper smart to make that kind of a money, right? So there are things that we have to learn, right? So if I don't know Java, I will learn Java. How much of Java should I learn? I mean, enough so that I can get my job done. And again, my job is about writing the scripts, right? So now you would say that how much of Java? And this is what my answer is. So any language, if you want this, right? If you want this in your title, automated tester, right? Now you are a manual tester. If you want automation, that means that you have to know programming, right? How much of programming? This is basically what you have to know. 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, right? Okay. you have to, any programming, it doesn't matter, any programming, right? Whether you are in QTP, we use a programming script called Visual Basic Script. In Selenium, basically, we can use different programming languages. We can use Java, we can use something called C#, right? We can use Python, we can use Ruby, we can use, now you would say that, oh, do I have to learn all of this? The answer is no, you don't have to learn all, right? You have to learn now I can talk about my country, in India, every 15 steps you take, you have a different language. Well, that's an exaggeration, I know. I mean, not 15 steps, but for sure, every 150 kilometers or every 200 kilometers, we have a different language. So we have so many languages in the country. Now, for us to survive, do we need to know every language? No. So you can go to any part of India, right? And you can still manage to do whatever you want to do, because we have a language that we need to know, which is our language, which is Hindi, H-I-N-D-I, right? Now let's go on a global mode. So we are here in United States. For somebody to be good here, right? We have a lot of folks coming from across the border, from Mexico, from wherever, right? For them to be good in here, if they know English, we can be good. So if I want to go to Europe, right? I mean, I don't want to get into giving you stories and all that, but very quickly I'll tell you this little story for less than a minute, and then I'll move on. And you might have noticed that sometimes, doing this a 2-hour session, doing completely, this dry topics, takes away the focus. So I somehow try to insert my little stories here and there. I hope you don't mind, but I promise you that's not going to take away anything from you. I will make sure that you get your 100% of education, not necessarily anything we are going to do to cut corners. In fact, I'm going to be doing more, because these 2 hours will get converted to 2 hours, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at times, because I will try my best to complete whatever task I have taken up. So coming back to, for you to succeed, you have to know one language, which is English, right? You can go any part of the world and you can survive. Likewise, to do Selenium, you have to know one language, which is being used by majority of the companies, and that language is Java. If you know C#, okay, it's good. If you know Python, Ruby, it's good. But if I have to put a number, I would say that 85 to 90% of the companies are using, Java. The other, maybe this is 3%, maybe this is 5%, maybe this is 7%. I mean, don't go by exact numbers, but you can see these numbers are insignificant compared to Java's huge popularity. So Selenium, when you say Selenium, by default, it's almost like Java, right? But some companies do use C#, some companies do use Ruby and Python and all that, right? So if you really want to see how it is done through C# and Python and Ruby, I have, a couple of videos here and there. I'm not going to do it as a part of the class, but I will do it. I'll give you some videos on the site that you can watch. Now, the videos are going to be equally knowledgeable when it comes to the content. I will put a good content in the video, so that when you start to watch a video and when you accomplish, when you close that video, when you finish the video, you will get up with this feeling that, yes, it was worth my time, meaning that before I started to watch this video, I did not know this. After I finish this, I know this. So there will always be some value that we will be putting through this video to your resume. So if you watch a video, it's not like a waste of time. At the end of the video, you would have added some value to your resume. Likewise, when you get into this course and when you finish the course, you would have definitely added some value to your resume. And that value is something which should help you get the return on your investment. So what is your investment now? We need not always think about money as the investment. It is one of the components. It's an important component. You have paid $400 if you have bought this course as a single course, but if you have bought it as a package, probably you paid like $50 for it, or maybe $100. I don't know, depending on what package you have taken. So money is significant, but if you put money on the side, there is another investment from your side, your time, because I'm asking you to give me 1 hour every day for the next 30 days, right? So that means that 30 hours you have to give as a part of my assignments, completing the assignments, doing some project work and all that, plus 16 hours of this live class. So 30 and 16 is like 46. You might repeat the videos, watch it again. So overall, about 50 to 60 hours of your investment of your time. So in the next 30 days, if you put 50 to 60 hours into this, I promise you, right, that you will come out with flying colors, because we will have 8 assignments that you have to complete as a part of this course. And if you complete those 8 assignments, you will learn enough that you would be able to handle majority of the interview questions. And forget about the interview questions that you will anyhow be able to manage after you finish this course. But once you are on the job, and if they ask you to do something, you don't have to worry about it, because you could always come back and watch the video, because we would have done that as a part of this course. So you will have access to the videos for 1 year, right? So even after 1 year, let's say if you want to extend it, we can extend it free of cost for you. So bottom line of this is, you are trusting me with your time and with your money to learn it, and I take it very seriously, and I'm going to make sure that you get a lot of value after you finish this course. All right. With that said, let's focus on programming. So we said that as a part of this course, you have to learn programming. But how much of programming is this course going to make you a programmer? The answer to that is no, it's not going to make you a programmer, but it will teach you enough of programming that you can very easily manage the automated part, right? Because for this, you need to know programming, and you would be able to do that. So how much of programming do you need? You need to know about, in Java, what are variables, how do you create variables, how do you use variables in your script, right? So that we need to know. Very soon we'll be learning it. Then we will know about arrays, right? What are arrays? How do you create arrays? There is something called a single dimensional array, and then there is something called a multi-dimensional array. So how do you create them? How do you use them in your script and all that? That's what we'll be doing. Right? Now, the third thing is you will be knowing about functions, right? What are functions? How to create functions? Now, there are different types of functions. Functions that takes no arguments, and functions that take arguments or parameters. So how do you create them? Now, again, let me take you back to, is this rocket science? Is this something like, extremely difficult? If it is, I wouldn't have done this, right? Forget about teaching. I couldn't have done it, because I don't think, I'm a rocket scientist, right? I mean, I cannot, right? So this is doable. This is doable. A lot of people have done this before, so you can do it. So don't be, scared or be panicked when I say that you have to do variables, arrays, and functions, right? It is doable. A lot of people have done. You will be able to do it. What more do you have to do? You have to learn about a little bit of programming, in the sense that you should be able to do conditional logic. Conditional logic. Now, what do you mean by conditional logic? Now, our minds, human minds, does process logic 100 times, million times a day, right? What is one of the logic? If you're driving, when you see red light, because we have been conditioned that red means stop, then what do? Do you give gas and then you would go? No, because more than the accident, you're afraid of, like, the cop would see, and then you have to pay a fine. Yeah, I'm talking about myself. I'm being very honest. Forget who thinks about the accident. I'm thinking about, oh, is there a cop there, right? That's how it is. So we have been conditioned that the logic goes in our mind, in our head, that, okay, red means stop, green means go, right? And then if you see a cop, automatically your speed kind of, I mean, is it happening to just me or to all of us? I think to all of us, right? Doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, whoever you are, even the kids, they'll say, Daddy, there's a cop there. And then, so that means that I have to slow down, right? So likewise, conditional logic means the ability to make your program think and do things like if, right? If there is a cup, if there is a condition is true, then do this. Else, do that. If there is a cup, slow down. Slow down. If there is no cup, speed. Right? I mean, I shouldn't be doing that. I mean, within the limits, let's say. All right. So we should know as how to write this code. So I'm not going in our examples. I'm using this funny terms, if at all, if they are funny. But in real life, when we are doing a project, we are not going to be slowing down. We are not going to be speeding. We are not checking if the cup is there. We're going to be checking for something. What are we going to be checking? If we have to, let's say, if there is a radio button, if there is a checkbox, if that checkbox is checked, then I need to call this function, right? So things like that. So we will be doing things like that. So as you can see here, so we are going to be talking about variables, arrays. We're talking about functions. We're talking about conditional logic, and then we'll be doing something like loops. So there is something called a for loop, right? So if you have to keep doing it again and again and again and again. Now you would say that, what do you mean by keep doing it again? So let's say we have an application. This is the application, and in that application there is a test that you have to. There is a functionality that you have to go and test, which is search, right? So you go and then you enter something to search, and then you click on a button. Let's say go, right? So it will take this, and then it will search, and then it will show you that yes, we have that, and some details of this, like the first one is $800, the second one is $700, the third one is $600 or whatever, $800,000 if it is a house, $700,000, whatever the application which you are searching. If it is a real estate, if it is like I don't know what it is, right? So when we are searching, whatever condition you give in here, when we search for, let's say, we are searching for a house, right? And the house is let's say you will give that it has to be between 500,000 and 800,000. It has to be 5 bedrooms, and it has to be 3 bathrooms, stuff like that. So next time you want to check with different set of data. Next time you want to check with different set of data. So while you're checking for different sets of data, so whatever your test is, you want to keep doing the test again and again and again and again and again and again, right? So you have to use what is called a for loop. And you would say that for I equals 1, meaning from 1 record to I equals 50, keep doing it. So you have to learn about something called a for loop. So in programming, when we are going to do Java, I will be teaching you this. Again, I'm repeating myself. When you hear something like this, it's a natural instinct, right, that comes into our mind that there is a fear of the unknown. If you don't know something, you're afraid of it, right? But once you know it, then you're like, okay, you're very happy, right? Before getting married, you're afraid, right? So I mean, few people they are, right? But then after that, they take you for granted. So anyways, coming back and talking about how much of stuff which we'll be doing in here. Now, before I continue any further, I have done whatever I have done so far. Now, it's almost like an hour. I have not started anything yet, right? But let me quickly ask you folks, if you have any particular question, so far, do I make sense? Is it making sense? Do you think that you can handle it? You can manage it? Now, if you have any question, because the live class is all about having interaction. I want you to interact with me. I want you to ask me a question. And the way you can ask me a question is, right now I have muted you all, right? Even if you're singing in your living rooms, I won't be able to hear a thing because I don't know what's going on in your living rooms. If you have pets, if you have dogs, they might be barking, and I don't want them to cause any inconvenience in this session. So I have muted you. But that doesn't mean that, I cannot take up your questions. If you have a question, do this. There is a little icon somewhere on your control panel. When you click on that, that's going to pop up a little hand right next to your name. And I know that, okay, you want my attention. And I will stop doing whatever I'm doing, and I will call out your name, and I will unmute you, and you and I, we can talk. That's one way of interacting. The other way of interacting is you can just type it in that chat box. So if you have a question, feel free, right? And it need not be like anything related technically, about Selenium. If you just want to ask me how is the weather in New York, go ahead, ask me that question. At least we'll get to know who you are, and make yourself a little comfortable here because in the next 4 weeks, you and I, we will be together and we'll be doing a lot of stuff. Now, for those of you folks who have already registered with us, let me take a second to quickly show you that after you have, taken care of your dues, meaning that you paid us, we would give you access to the videos. So let me quickly show you. We give you access. We have our videos in something called Screencast, and I will show you that majority of you who are already a paid members should have access to the videos. So let me just log in and show you that we have done so many courses here, and these are the videos of all those courses, right? And as you can see, we have tons of courses going on in here. So depending on what course you have are taking with us or what you have taken, you would have access to these videos. So over here, we just concluded Selenium March batch. You are April batch. So in March, you'll see that there are 8 videos, right? Day 1 through day 8. Each one is about 2 hour long, 8 videos. So you all should be. Now, I want to draw your attention to the fact that on day 1, people are very excited, right? So you're like, yeah, I want to do it, and I'll make sure that I will get into it. And believe it, right? Believe it when I say this, that if you are focused, if you give me what I'm asking you to do, right? It's like extending a hand. I want you to grab it. It's like a handshake, right? Both of us, we have to do our part. So my part is to get started and to show you how things are, and then your side is you have to do the assignments. Now, let me not tell you how good you are doing, because here is a secret. You can find it out yourself. How would you find out whether you are doing good or not? If you find yourself completing the assignments, and if you find yourself submitting the assignments on time, if your dog is not eating away your assignments, right? Or if you don't have your mother-in-law coming and visiting you, and you say that, oh, I got to take care of my mother-in-law, I have to cook for her, or I have to take my daughter to her dance class, I have to take my son to his baseball. I mean, you could have 20 million reasons, to complain and say that I did not do my homework because. Now, no, you don't have to tell me that, because I don't get anything out of it if you do the homework. Of course, I'm going to get some sort of a satisfaction that, okay, I'm teaching somebody and somebody is learning it. But at the end of the day, it's you who will get benefit out of this. So if you find yourself doing the assignments, completing the assignments, that means that you are learning. So on day 1, people are very excited they do the assignments because there's nothing in day 1 to be done. And very soon we'll get into Selenium testing. I'll take you there. But day 2, a little bit. Starting from day 3 onwards, it starts to become a little bit challenging, right? So I want you to look in here. There were 53 views. We just concluded. So people, they watched it. So students, they watched it maybe on an average twice, right? Then they watch this 69 times. Now, as you go down, a lot of people, we see here 66, 46, 25, 45, and 8. Meaning that day 8 probably would have been like so difficult that, people are like, I can't do it, right? But those 8 people who have watched it are the ones who are like dedicated. So if you can reach, this is like climbing up the Himalaya mountain, right? So you got to do it. You got to do it. There's nothing like a halfway, right? Because there's a big benefit that is going to come once you complete this course. Okay, enough talking. Let me take a question. Somebody had raised their hand, so let me take that question, and then we will begin to do whatever we are going to be doing today. Okay, so let's see. Jaya and Sonali, you have some questions. I'm going to unmute you, Jaya, and I'll take your question. Go. I have unmuted. Hang on. You are on a phone. So I don't know. I can't unmute you because you have to enter the PIN for me to unmute you. So you logged in with the phone, not with the computer, I guess. So let me unmute Sonali. Sonali, go if you have a question.
Hi, Irfan. My question is, I know that Selenium is with the Firefox browser. We can do all the web testing on Firefox browser, but can we do web app testing using Selenium on IE and Chrome, Safari, all those browsers?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. The answer is right here. As I mentioned that we will be learning on Internet Explorer, we'll be learning on Google Chrome, we'll be learning on Safari, on Opera, on Firefox. So I'll be showing it to you on majority of the browsers. So the most popular browsers that are out there is, of course, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, and Firefox. So I'll be showing you on all of those major. So the answer, quick answer to your question is yes, it can be done with multiple browsers, and that's what I'll be showing you to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else, any questions? I have one question. Can you unmute me in the run? Okay, let me see. Where are you? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Irfan, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. So I have this question like, is it possible for you to send us links for what needs to be installed or downloaded for the next class? One day before that? One day before?
And thank you for that question, and let me answer that question. In fact, I don't have to send you anything. You would say, how come? The answer to that is right here. We have given you the videos of after you register, after you make the payments and all that. We would have given you the videos of the previous batches. So what I request all of you is keep like 2 steps ahead of me. So meaning that this is the month of April. So I would have given you the videos from the February batch. I would have given you the videos from the let me mute you back. So what you do is you should watch these videos, and in these videos you will see how I have done it, how I have installed IDE, how I have installed RC server, how I have installed WebDriver. So everything is in there. So I don't, we have done it. We have designed the model in such a way that very little interaction is needed between you and me, because we are all professionals. You are working, I am working, hopefully, everybody is working. So I don't want to take your phone calls. I don't want to take your emails, because everything is there. I have given you everything. That doesn't mean that I don't want to take it. Of course, I'm more than happy to talk to you and take your phone calls. But, we try to minimize that process so that everything is given out to you. Anything you are thinking right now, the solution is right there through the videos, right? Not through the videos. If you don't get everything out of the videos, then this is what you should be doing. We'll be making you a member of the Google group. So what you do is once a student registers, we will make you a member of the Google group. And if you type groups.google.com, it's plural, I guess, groups. And I got to be logged in. Let me just log in. So once you are logged in, and once you go into groups as in plural.google.com and then click on my groups, I'm the admin of this group, so you see me as the owner of all of these groups. But in your case, you should be seeing whatever courses that you have taken with us, you will be seeing those groups. So let's go to Selenium group. So here is the Selenium group. Now here, before you, there were probably around 2,000 people that we would have trained in the past 4.5 years or more than that. So you can go and research for something. Let's say you have an issue, fast forward 3 or 4 or 5 classes, and you have something to do with the Excel. So you want to see how to connect with Excel. So when you type Excel, a lot of people, they have some issues going on with Excel. So you can read this. There's some code in there. You can look into the code. I mean, I don't want you to get overwhelmed when you look into something like that. You're like, oh my God, look at that. I cannot even handle it. This is too much for me. No, I mean, I have almost taken you if you're coming into a movie, I'm showing you something which is almost at the tail end of the movie, and what would you get out of it? Nothing, right? So, but I'm just showing you that in this movie you're going to see a lot of things. So your help will be this Google group. A lot of friends will be there. If you have a question, look for some solution right here. If you don't find a solution, you ask that question here by going and then creating a new topic. When you create a new topic, you say that, okay, I'm stuck while doing the assignment, please help, and somebody will be like, okay, do this, do that, and then you get the help. So while you are in this course, and even after the course, you can still be using this group. You can post your questions, and we will answer your questions through that group. So the videos are there. The Google group is there. Of course, I am going to be there if you have anything, but you must use me as your last resort, right? Not because I'm a bad guy, I'm going to, do something. No, basically what it is trying to understand. I have a full-time job, and we have about 6,000 students who have taken different courses. Everyone, if they have one question a day, there will be about like 5,000 people calling and asking. So what we try to do is, let's do it electronically. I mean, we are in this digital world now. No need to talk, no need to, just put it in there, and I will take a look at it, and I will answer that question. All right? Okay, now let me see what other points we have. One more question that is from Indrani. So while she is here, let me unmute her back. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Indrani.
So there is a, okay.
I can hear you.
You sent a link saying that must watch videos. Do we have to see, which one do we have to see there?
I will talk about that. I will
okay.
tell you during after today's session. I'll tell you about that. Right?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Let us see if we have any other questions here. My number, if anybody would like to talk, would be calling from the website 732-998-6650. That's the number you should be calling. Okay, so let's get going. So if you don't have any questions now, if you have any questions, type it in that chat. And if I don't answer that question right there and then immediately, that doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you or I'm not trying to answer your question. Probably I'm so much indulged in what I am trying to do at that time that I don't want to, lose my thought process. So I will complete my whatever I'm doing at that time, and then I will come back and then answer your question. Phone number, it is on the website. Whenever you want to call us, the website is TrainingRite.com. Phone number is there. Email address is there, so you can look into that. But if you need the phone number, this is the phone number, and I have sent the phone number to all of you. Okay, now let's get going. Coming back to Asad, we will take care of that today. After this session, I'll take care of it. Okay, so where can I find the videos for Ruby and all that? Okay, this is not like a complete batch, right? There is one video on how to do it with Ruby. There's one video on how to do it with C#. Not that you actually need it, but it is there, and I'll guide you where to find it. It's not like a complete course that you will find on Ruby. If that's the case, then you have to go and take the Ruby course, right? So we are doing Selenium with Java. That's the focus of this. So if you want to learn Ruby, this is the course, Ruby Cucumber, right? That's a complete course. That's one of the most popular course that we have, most expensive, because it's almost like $500, and the hottest course that we have. But again, that's not the topic, so let me come back. I digress. Let me come back. So here, let us get started as far as Selenium is concerned, right? All that 1 hour was just trying to, getting to know one another and how the program is going to run and all that. So let's get started right now. So with Selenium, as you can see here, as I was mentioning that Selenium comes as Selenium IDE, RC Server, and WebDriver. So what is exactly Selenium? So I'm not going to give you an exact technical definition of what Selenium is. This course, the way I'm going to run this course is, and please take it, always take it in a as an optimistic, right? Always see the positive side of it. Always look at the bright side of it. When I make a comment, don't look at the negative side of it. Look at the positive side of it. So what I was going to tell you is the way we're going to be running this course, the way I'm going to be teaching this course is almost anybody should be able to understand it, provided they focus a little bit. And the focus is an hour or two every day for the next 30 days, right? That's what I demand from your side, right? And you would be able to learn it, right? If I sit next to my grandma and if I teach her, chances are, if not the whole thing, but at least the beginning part of Selenium, she will get it. And how grandmas are. They're usually 70, 80 years old, but they can get it. So, I mean, we are young folks, so we should be getting more than that, right? So that's why I said they get only the introductory part of it, and you guys should be getting as much as you can. So today is the introductory part. That is the IDE part of it. So Selenium is what? It is a way of testing your application. We already talked about applications being client server. Can Selenium test client server? No, Selenium cannot test client server application. Which other tool? Well, there could be 100 other tools. One of the most popular tool that can do client server testing is Qtp. All right, Selenium doesn't do it. So what Selenium does is a web application. What is a web application? Well, this is a web application. This is a web application, something, right? This is a web application, right? If I go to that is a web application, right? And that is a web application. So anything that runs in a browser is a sort of a web application. All right. Okay. Now, if we take this, let's say Amazon.com, they are very impressed with your resume. They hire you. They say that, okay, welcome aboard. I want you, your manager says after the honeymoon is over, usually the day 1, day 2, day 3, they bring you there, they chit chat with you, they show you the place, they introduce you to people, they, just talk and they invite you for a lunch, this and that, right? Then after that, basically the work has to start. So the honeymoon is over. So what is the work? The work is basically they would ask you to test certain part of the application. So they have to have certain objectives, certain goals, certain agenda, which they hired us to fulfill. What is the thing that we are going to do? We have to have some user stories or test cases that we will be testing. One of the test cases would be go and do a search, right? So they will give you some test data to go and search. So let's say I'm searching for, I don't know what, I'm searching for Nike shoes, right? So Nike men's shoes, right? So when you do that, what do you expect? What do you expect? You expect to see some Nike shoes in here. If it shows you pictures of an elephant, right? If it shows you, let's say, a cruise of it, so if it is not giving you the output which is expected, that means that the test has failed. So the big deal here is how do you automate it? How do you automate it? Right? So manual testing is you come in here, you went to www.amazon.com and then you typed Nike men's shoes, and when you click on this go, then it shows something like this. And if you see that, there is Nike men, that means that my test is showing some results, right? So you have to automate the whole process. In order to automate, where do we start? We have to start with Selenium IDE. So the question is, where do I get Selenium IDE from? Well, in today's world, everything you get from Google. So just go to Google and say, I need what? Selenium IDE, and you need to download that. Okay, beautiful. You just search for it. And Google being Google, it'll try to help you out and says that, you search for Selenium IDE, and this is where I think it is. So click on this, and then lo and behold, it takes you to the site where you will find that, here is my Selenium IDE. Now, here, if you take a look, this site here, right? it's a sort of like a Bible, right, of Selenium, meaning that a lot of information about Selenium, you can find it there. Now, but then you have paid me, right? You have paid me, so I should be showing you everything. If these guys, SeleniumHQ.org, if they can show you everything, then you would have gone there and then learn it from there. What they will show? Well, they'll show certain things, but not everything. So since you have, you know, invested your money with me, I will show you everything in here. So once you go there, we have to do what? We have to go and download Selenium IDE. Now, before I download Selenium IDE, I want to draw your attention to the fact that you also see something called RC Server here. Well, not just RC Server, you also see something called the WebDriver here as well. So this site will give you, we will be revisiting this site again and again when and if and when there is a need for us to do different things. Today the need is about Selenium, so my focus will be in this area of Selenium IDE. That's what I will be focused on today. So before I go and show you as how to download Selenium IDE, somebody has raised their hand, so I'll quickly take their question. Again, Sonali, okay, go ahead. I have unmuted.
No, Irfan, I did not ask any question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's move on. So here, we're going to go and we will see as how we can download IDE. Before I do that, I don't have the intention of like reading these things. So what I'm going to do is I will just read 1 or 2 lines in here so that you get an idea of what we are getting into here. So Selenium IDE, they are saying that, hey, Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. Now, what does that mean? That means that unfortunately, Selenium IDE works only with Firefox. Now, that will make some people angry here because I just said, well, it is going to work with IE and Chrome and Safari and all that, right? And then now I'm saying that it is working only with Firefox. Let me see. Okay, so I forgot to mute her back. So okay, here we are saying that Selenium works with IE, Chrome, and Safari and all that. And all of a sudden here I'm saying that, well, IDE works with. Basically what it is IDE is a very, very little tiny player here, right? IDE can do very few things, right? So the biggest drawback with IDE is it can work only with Firefox. But having said that, there is a secret, right? IDE, using IDE, you can do something which I'm not going to show it to you today, but in the next class, you can produce, right, milk from a cow, and that milk can become butter, that milk can become yogurt, that milk can become, I don't know what's the English of ghee, but you know, you can make. So IDE is that one little thing which once you know how to put it to use, you can do so many things with IDE. For today, I'm just gonna go with IDE being a Firefox plugin which helps you to record and play back user interactions within the browser. With this, I'm going with this line. All right. Okay. So that's what IDE is. It's a Firefox plugin. So please come to this site with Firefox, using Firefox. So if you say that I don't have Firefox, well, I would say that go and download it. It's free of cost, right? Whatever browser you have, mostly Internet Explorer, go to Internet Explorer, bring it up, go to Google, say download Firefox, and then download Firefox on your machine. Firefox download would take literally about like 2 minutes, and you'll have Firefox on your machine. At this, but when you come back for this session in the next time, which is on Wednesday, on your machine, you should have Firefox, Google Chrome, and Internet Explorer. 3 major browsers you should have, right? And here is the deal, how you will be downloading Selenium IDE. When we hear the word download, you know, again, you know, human mind, download, meaning that, oh, it's like a long thing, will take forever to download. No, exactly, it takes about a blink of an eye. How much time does it take for you to blink? I'll say that I cannot even measure that. That's how much time it takes to download this, right? So you come here and then you say, I want to go ahead and then download. This is the version. So you click on that, and guess what? It's almost downloaded, right? Because it says that it downloaded and Firefox prevented it from downloading. So what are we downloading? We are downloading Selenium IDE, and it's a plugin for Firefox. So when I say allow, it is downloading it right now, and then it comes back and says that, hey, there is something in here. There are Ruby formatters, there are Python, C#, and then there are IDE and Java formatters. Now, chances are, I mean, we might not do anything with Ruby, Python, and all that, right? So, but it's still saying that, do you really want to do it? I mean, who knows? Maybe I might need it. So why don't I install it? So how long is it going to take? Right there. It's done. It's installed. It's installed. That is what it takes. Blink of an eye to install IDE, Selenium IDE. You just need to know where to go, right? Okay, if it is installed, it is saying restart. Restart what? The browser, not the machine. So let me restart it. So when I click on that, now my Firefox is killed and it is going to restart. See here, Firefox is trying to restart again here in the bottom, right? So, and it is restarted. It came back to my home page, which happens to be Yahoo. That's my home page. It came back in here. Now, where is Selenium IDE? How do I know that it got installed? Well, this is where you go to see if Selenium IDE got installed or not, right? You go to Tools. You go to Tools, right? And when you go to Tools, you see Selenium IDE. It is there. How easy it is, right? Now, you would say that on my machine, I don't see these things. Well, I would say that, why don't you right-click there? There is a menu bar, so maybe it is checked off. So if it is checked off, of course, you're not going to see the tools. So you right-click on that and say, menu bar, show me the menu bar. Menu bar is shown. Go to the tools and say, show me the Selenium IDE. Open. And lo and behold, it opens now. What you see here is, this is the Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE. Okay, now let us, any questions on how to download Selenium IDE? You would say that, come on, are you kidding me? Are you joking? What is there in it? Now, I want you to know, Selenium, the whole Selenium is like that. Complete Selenium is like that. It is, you just need somebody to walk you, take your hand, show you these things. It is easy, my friend. It is really easy. Programming is easy, right? And putting the code is writing this, everything is easy. You need somebody to walk you through. This can be learned just like that, 1 month, 1 hour a day. Prefer, 1 hour is like, again, I don't want you to take it in a negative way, but some people will take a little extra time, right? I take little slow, so I take little extra time. So for me, if I'm learning something, I might need 2 hours, right? Somebody smart, very smart like you might pick it up in like an hour a day, right? So on an average, give 2 hours a day for next 30 days. I promise you Selenium. I promise you Selenium. With that said, here is Selenium IDE. So let me maximize it. So that's the full screen. This is that. So whatever you're comfortable. Let me go over this, right? What do you have in here? Well, on the top, I have some menu items. Oh, good. If you open Word, inside Word or inside Excel, you have menu items. There is File, there is Edit, Action. Well, do I really need to show you about these things? Well, I will, because I'm a good guy. I will show you all of those things, right? But I'm not gonna be overwhelming you by taking you into every little detail of, when you click on File, no, I'm not gonna do all those things, but obvious things I'm gonna do, right? Okay, so these are the menu items. For sure, I'm gonna show you what is in there. What do you see here as a base URL is the application that you are going to test. So if you are testing Bank of America, then you will be typing, Bank of America URL here. So whatever you are testing, you will be typing it in there. So if you see here, it is showing you TrainingRite.net/online, because probably in the previous batch, that's what I was, checking with or doing. So that's what it is keeping it in there. So if you want to test that, that's what we should be doing. Okay, the next thing is right here, it shows you a few things like this is the toolbar, right? Again, in Word, you have toolbar, and in Selenium IDE also you have toolbar. There is something called fast slow, and then there is something in here. When the time is right, I'll explain you all that. Okay, now what we will do is we'll go ahead and then we will test something. Okay, before I do any testing, I for one believe in having some documentation. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be becoming Shakespeare and writing some books and all that. Enough to get the job done. I believe, like, we should not be wasting anybody's time. We should be doing only the things that are needed, right? That's why, you don't find me like, writing a lot of notes and all that. That's simple thing. What is the objective here? Using Selenium IDE, I'm going to do a automation test. Test of what? Test of, let's say it is here, so I'm going to take this. Let me show you this application, what it is. So let me bring up my Firefox, navigate to. Let's say you have been hired by, don't worry about the name of the company. Let make believe that this is the biggest, world's largest company, right? So I have built this so that it is easy for you to understand in the beginning. I'm keeping it a little simple. The functionality that you see here is no different from Amazon.com. In Amazon.com, you have a lot of clutter, lot of pictures, this and that, but they also search. I am also searching. So in my test case, what do? We are going in here and we are searching. Searching for what? I mean, I'm not putting everything out there, right? So I have some few minor things in here. We have some cameras and some TVs and all that. Now, don't question me. Don't ask me, why did you put cameras? Why not cars? I mean, whatever I could get, I just put it in there. So we have cameras and we have TVs. So let me go and search for I like a Samsung TV, let's say. So let me see if they have Samsung TV, and I'm searching for it. Then I say, now think from a tester's perspective. A tester comes in, types this, right, and then clicks on that, and he expects something in here, right? So if he doesn't see something in there, that means that he has to report. He has to see that, products in the product search results, I found 0 results, right? There is nothing in there. Or else, let's say if I'm searching for just Samsung, now notice that I have the Samsung TVs, right? Okay, so that is how do you automate? How do you automate the search functionality? That's the search part of it, right? So in this application, we have multiple functionalities, right? The whole thing is about a shopping cart application. In a shopping cart, what do? You go to your grocery stores. What do? Do you pay first? You would be saying, what are you? Are you mad? Why would I pay first? I got to go and then take the shopping cart and then go around, right, in the different aisles, and I'm going to pick my, coconut, or I'm going to pick my, whatever it is, right? And I'm going to put it in the cart. So add to cart. So is this my coconut? No, I'm not buying a coconut from this website. I'm buying Samsung TV. So there are 2, right? Which one I want? I want this brand. So I want to add to cart. So I have searched and I add to cart. So this is my cart. I added that. And it is showing me the price. It is $701, and I'm going to get an online discount of $101, and then it's going to cost me $599, right? Now look from a tester's perspective, like how we should be focusing on the testing. A developer had built it, right? So far so good. It is showing me we were able to add Samsung to the shopping cart. Next thing is, in this shopping cart, we have to modify the shopping cart, meaning we have to add or we have to remove from the shopping cart. I don't want to remove, I want to add. I like this TV so much that I want to buy it for my whole family, right? I want to give one to my mother-in-law. I want to give one to my brother-in-law. I want to give one to my, those are the people you give gifts, right? To keep them happy, right? So you come in here and then you buy 3 now, right? So what do you expect when you put 3? What do you expect? You expect the total to change. You expect this to, do you expect the price to change? No, you expect, I don't know why they call it extension, but you expect this to change, right? So let's see, where would you click to recalculate order, right? So I recalculate order, and lo and behold, you have this change. This is 701 times 3. When I do the math the last time, I found it to be $2,150. So subtotal is 2,000 and minus 103, it is 1,995. Beautiful. So my manual testing says that, this is working. This because I changed that to 3, it worked. Can I change it to 2 and recalculate? It did work. Can I change it back to 1 and do that? It did work. Can I put it as 0 and do that? Will it work, right? It is working. What is this? $100 online discount for 0? Oh, looks like it should be 0. There is a bug, defect I found, right? So you got to be checking each and everything. So this is manual testing. So let's go with the happy path scenario, right? Let's buy something. Let's buy 2, recalculate order. I like this 2. I want to go ahead and proceed to the checkout, right? All this I'm doing it manually. And very soon, within the next 10 minutes, we will create an excellent automated script using Selenium IDE. Believe it or not, you all will be perfect, testers, automated testers by the end of this session. I promise you when it comes to Selenium IDE. So let me do the manual testing first. Getting to know the application is mandatory. So we are getting to know the application. Proceed to check out. Click on that. Is asking me, well, you have something in the shopping cart. You have 2 items, Samsung TV. Do you want to buy it? If you want to buy it, put your information. Well, I'm going to put my information in there. I'll put my name and I'll put my, let's say, where I live, and I'll say, okay, I have my city, I have my zip code, and I have my phone number, and I want to pay by my credit card. So what credit card I have? Okay, American Express, Visa. Okay, let's say Visa. I got to put my credit card number. Okay, the credit card number that I'm putting is not the actual one. Please do not pay attention copying it because it's not going to work. Because guess what? I'm just typing it just like that, right? Okay, so here, 1, 2, 3, and this is 12/2015. Now, it would have been better if I had something in here. When I check it, this gets pre-populated. Otherwise, it's a pain in the neck for me to go ahead and then retype the information. But, sometimes the designer says that, hey, you know what, I don't want to have that checkbox because if they made a mistake here, even the shipping would be, would have a wrong address. So I'll let them type. Okay, if that's the goal, I'll type it again. But I prefer having a checkbox. That's the design issue. So we can just mention that, and we come over here and we type it and we do that, and then come back and then we type the phone number. And all right, very good, excellent. Now I still have the opportunity to change it to 3. I want to, right? 1 for my brother-in-law too, but you know what? Now let's go and then submit the order. Okay, do I have everything in here, right? I have my name, I have this, Okay, let's submit the order. If my credit card is good, if it goes through, and it should give me, there you go, the order number. That means that, okay, I bought those 2 TVs. So thank you for ordering with us. Please keep your order number as that for your future records, and then All right? Okay, beautiful. We did a manual testing. Everything works, right? Now, as a tester, what I just did is I dealt with something called a happy path scenario. Happy path scenario, everything is green, everything is dandy, everybody in the world is happy, we have a green world, no emissions, no torturing going on, everything is fine. But the real world is not like that. There are some crooks out there who would do what? Who would try and who would say that, you know what, let me just not enter the credit card and still buy it. Who in the real mind as a developer would have created this so that if you don't put the credit card, it should take it? Well, aha, look at that. We have an order number. Huge, big bug. Big bug. But have you ever thought, because we were going with the happy case, happy path scenario, like, okay, if there's a credit card, because we all are tuned to follow the rules. Oh, if there's a credit card, I have to take out my wallet. But, again, in real life, people take chances. I mean, people rob banks, people murder, people rape, people this, so we as testers, we got to go and then try every possibility. If there is nothing in there, what if I don't have the shipping information? I mean, forget about shipping information. I did not put the credit card and it gave me the order. I mean, how bad is this application? Believe it or not, sometimes it could be that bad. And I'm not even putting this shipping information and then, I have order. So, I mean, in real life, it doesn't happen. Why? Because this, for testing purpose, I did it so that I can open your eyes and say that, show you that, things like that can possibly happen. So when you're testing, you got to keep your eyes open and test for every set of data. Bad data, right? That one. And it should still not order, but it is ordering, right? In my case, I'm doing everything. Okay. So let's come back and let's do the automation of that. So to do the automation, how am I going to do the automation? For that, this is what we are going to do. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start right from the beginning. I will open up my application. This is the application that I need to test. Now I have to do the automation part of it, correct? Okay. Did you all downloaded Selenium IDE? Of course, make believe that you did. Let's open it. Where will you open it from? Oh, because it's a plugin of Firefox, I have to come up with Firefox. You cannot do it from Google Chrome. So how will you do it from Google Chrome? Well, didn't I tell you that I'll show you all those tricks? Of course, I'm going to show you all those tricks, but let's keep it for tomorrow or our next session. Right now, let me show you how to do the Firefox testing. Okay, you will go into Tools. You will open up Selenium IDE. And here, if it is not already there, you will type this address. You'll type the address. Okay. Now, one thing that I want to draw your attention to is, look at this. Look at that. Right? What you see there is, this is a toggle. This is a button. Now, if you click it once, it is not recording right now. If you want it to record, you will click on that. So when you open this very first time, if you go in there and open that, it's already in the recording mode. See here, it's already in the recording mode. So if you do anything in the browser now, it'll start to record and it will record everything in here. So let me just do something in here. What am I going to do? Let me just move it a little bit on the side so that I can do things on I can do things in here. Okay, let me search for, come here, and let me search for Panasonic, right, brand. Samsung, let's say I like Panasonic, so I type Panasonic, and I'm clicking on this Go. I don't even know what this Go is. It looks like a button, it could be a link, it could be anything, I don't know, but let me just click on that. Right? When I click on that, I have this. Now, you would say, what kind of an application it is? Only 2 TVs? Well, no, come on. I'm just, creating something as a test one, so it's only 2. I could have easily put 20, but I just want to keep it as simple as we can so that we concentrate on the testing, right? So that's why we have to. Okay. So what do you want to do at this time? Do you want to add it to a cart? Yeah, sure. I want to add it to a cart. The regular pricing of this is $6.99. So there is a sale going on, which is $600. So let me buy it. So add to the cart. So I click on the cart. Right? Now, you will be surprised. You say that, what? Another bug. There was like, when did I buy this 2 Samsung TV? So that is telling you that it is caching. It is caching because it is keeping this information in the browser. It is keeping the information in the browser, right? So let's say that for time being, let it be there. I mean, in order to start out again, okay, this is what I should be doing to start out again. Let me just close that. Let me just close this, right? And let me just go in here to options, right? And to never remember history, clear current history, right? So clear current history, everything clear now, right? Everything. And never remember history clear everything. So everything is hopefully, time range to clear everything, right? So we clear everything. We do that, close the browser, close the browser and reopen the browser. So hopefully now it will not keep anything in the cache of the browser. So let me go to that site, which is TrainingRite / online, right? This is the application that we are going to test, right? So let me bring tools and Selenium IDE. Here it is. So here on the top I have that. It is already recording. Okay, we are good to go. Now let me do a Panasonic and do that. And let me add it to the cart, and I added it to a cart. And as you can see, because we cleared the cache, we have only one. Now I can buy one more for my friend. So this is 2. I change it to 2. I recalculate order. So this should become 1200, right? So that is 1200, and I get $102.50. And my grand total is that, right? I am going to my checkout. And this is being paid by my friend. So let's say Gene is paying this. I'm not going to use the last name. So right, and let's say this is the address, right? And let's say it's New York 10018. Oops, sorry. 10018. And phone number, let's say, is 123456789. And visa, some number of visa. You would say that you don't even need that. Well, that because I showed you. Otherwise, we are all tuned to the fact that we need it. So this will be shipped to my address. It's a gift from Gene to me, right? So let's say, and let us say that, and that, and that, and this is the number. They would call me to find out, and we are paying for it, and here is the order. Okay, all done, all done. Now I will have to stop the recording. So here I go, right? Here I go. I bring this thing up. As you can see, wow, lot of commands in here. But before I do anything, let me stop the recording. So here, still recording. I stop the recording, right? And let me just make it bigger, right? So that we see in a big screen here. Now, there's so many things in here. Before I explain you what's going on in here, let me save this. So when we open it up, this is an untitled test case. So I'm just going to go File, and I'm going to say save test case as, right? I'm going to give it some name. So I do that. And there's one thing I want to draw your attention to is on my machine, you'll find different folders on my machine. As you can see, I have we have different trainings going on. So Advanced UTP, Android, Calabash, Bugzilla, Cucumber, .NET, tons of things in here. Well, I want you to go and create a folder called Selenium on your own machine later on, right? On your own machine. And in here, I have so many folders. So we will be using some of the folders in here. So it's better to create some of the folders, not exactly all the folders that I have, but as we progress in time, I'm going to tell you what folders you should be creating and whatnot. So right now, I want you to create a folder called IDE test cases. IDE test cases. So when you create this this folder, save this inside it. And if you see here from our previous batches, going back to as long as 2011 to the latest as 2014. So we have done different test cases and all that, right? So here I'm going to save it as, this is a TrainingRite, right? TR_shopping cart. And let's say I will start it with TC as a test case. TC_TrainingRite shopping cart, right? So that's the test case. I'll save it. So here is the name. I saved it. Okay, so here are so many things in here that it recorded. I will, for a second, I will not explain you these things. I will just run and see whether my script This is not really script, but these are the commands. Whether the commands, while I recorded, whether it recorded every command that we were performing on the browser, right? So let's see that. How to confirm? First of all, look up here. We have this and we have that. What's the difference between the two? Both of this will play, will run. We recorded it. Record and run. So these both of them will play. The difference between this and this is play the entire test suite. Now you would say that there's only one. So let's say imagine that there are more. So it is going to play the entire one. With this case, it is going to go just the current one. So this is the only one. So I can either this or that. It's the same thing. But when I play, it is going to run very fast because it's a robot. It's a robot. Before even you can see, the test will be over. So what you have to do, you can control it by going slow. By going slow, you can control it and you can see what is happening. So what we will do now is I will sort of like minimize it or I will make it a little smaller and I will keep it on the side in here so that we can see what is happening. When I run, I want the browser. I want to focus on the browser and see what is happening. But at the same time, I also want to see what commands are getting executed here. If you see, these are the different commands. So here I go and I am running. So wherever I am, let's say I moved away from this website, I am on Google right now. I could be on Google, I could be on Yahoo. Wherever I am, it doesn't matter. When you put on the base URL this address, it will take you there when you run it. So I am going to play it right now, and here we go. So as you can see, it came in here. Panasonic, it typed, it did that, it changed it to that, and it clicked on that. It is typing Gene, and it is typing and I even made that mistake, so it cleaned that and selecting Visa. Now that's automation. That is automation. Now, did we do anything so far? Did we write any script? Did we do it? Absolutely not. Right? There you go. Everything here, as you can see, everything is light green, and here is the green. This test case did pass. Test case did. Now, you would say that, come on, I mean, automation is not this easy. There's a lot more to it. You are right. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Today is the simple stuff that I have covered. And then as we go, we are going to do some programming and all that. But what kind of programming are we going to do? Let us see. If you see here, I want you to just see, this is the command. When we open a website, we said open this online page on the website, and then we said type on it. Type what? Type Panasonic. Type where there is a box called TXT search. Type Panasonic on it, and then there is an image. You click on that image. Click and wait on that, and then you basically go and type 2 in the item quantity. Now you would say that I think I am losing you on this one. Can you explain it again? Can you come? I would say that more than me explaining it, of course I will explain, and then I will show you a trick very soon that will make your eyes glow, literally, because that you will see how Selenium IDE will be helpful for you to write even, Java code. If you don't know anything about Java, still you can write a lot of code of Java by just doing the recording, by just whatever we just did. We just need to be good in it. Every time we should see a green here, that means that all of these lines it should pass. Now I'm going to do something in here which will make it fail. What I'm going to do here is I will intentionally go and I will change, let's say, if you see, these are the commands. The command is, let me just, if you see here, this is the command, this is the command, this is the command, and you see command, what is the target and what is the value. These three things, command, target, value, right? If I go in here, and if you want to understand what this is about, we will be typing. Typing what? The value. I'm typing the value New York. Where there is a box called TXT city, in that box, I'll be typing New York. Is it making sense? Yeah. Now look into this txt state. I made a mistake while typing. I put NY1. And then I went back and I corrected that mistake and I removed that one and it was NY. So it recorded NY1 and it recorded NY. Now if I have to understand this script and do some maintenance, like if there is some extra commands and I want to take them out, look at this one. This one is NY1 and then follow it up with NY. So that means that originally I typed NY1 and then I corrected it to NY. So one of them is not needed. So I can take it out. So I can highlight it. I right click on that and I delete it. So after I delete it, I will just go ahead, file, and I will just say save. So it is saved. And if I run it now, even though I deleted something from the test, I deleted something which it was originally not supposed to be there. So even though I delete it, but I'm not breaking my test. It is not going to break. It is not going to do any harm to my test. If I run it, it will run fine. So here I run. And if you notice here, this is green, green, yellow. Any command that is happening is like yellow color, right? So any command that happened is like light green. And if everything is good, here you will see dark green, right? Or glowing green. So it is doing now. Even though I deleted that NY, but still it did. My test is still passing, still continuing, and then hopefully everything it will do, right? There it is. Everything, my script, I did not break anything in the script. Now let's say if I come to this city, right? Come to the city. Now notice here, when you look into it, this is like open the browser and go to this TrainingRite online. Then type what? Panasonic in this txt set. Let's say I don't want to change, I want to change Panasonic and I want it to be Canon, right? Canon. So how can I do that? Well, I will come in here in the value, I change that and I put like Canon. I put Canon. Now the fact that I put Canon in here, when I click on that, the result might change and then things might change. So let us see how it is going to affect my test. Will it affect or will it not affect at all, right? Let's take a look how it is. So I am going to run it. I will move it on the side so that we can see what is happening. Canon. So it comes here, it clicks on Canon, right? Now it is doing something. So it did pass, it did do this, it did. So basically what it is now we should have focused on what it was buying for us. Was it buying Canon or was it buying Panasonic? So if I go back and take a look what it bought Panasonic and it also bought Canon for us. So if you don't want to buy Panasonic, if you just want to buy Canon, because Panasonic it kept from the previous test. So we got to start doing something to this script, right? We want to do something to the script. So what do we want to do to the script? Basically, we have to go and we have to add some steps and delete some steps. All that is what we have to do, right? Okay. So what I want to do right now is I want to summarize what we have done today and I want to ask you a few things. Number one, what we have started today is we said there are different domains, telecom, right? Doesn't matter what domain you belong to. What this course is about is testing applications. Applications can be client server, can be mobile applications, can be web applications. Selenium does not do client server. Selenium does web application and mobile application. I will not teach you mobile because that's a lot of stuff. That is another course. You have to buy that another course and that's what we will be learning because we cannot do too many things in here. So our focus is web application testing. So in web application testing, we'll be testing for different browsers, right? And in order to test for different browsers, you cannot do it with everything. So slowly but surely, I'll show you what do you have to do to test for different browsers. Okay, then we talked about There are different tools out there. There's a QTP, there is Selenium. We talk a little bit of the similarities and the differences. Similarities is both of them are automation testing tools. With QTP, it's like commercial license-based. This is free, and here you can do client server. Here you cannot do client server. Here it's still like not too good with the mobile. This is good with the mobile. So the good and bad of that. Okay, so we compare. Then we said with Selenium there are basically different types of Selenium, different modes of Selenium. There is something called Selenium IDE, RC server, Selenium WebDriver. All of it are automation testing tools. They will help you to automate your testing. So we introduce ourselves today with IDE. So I've shown you that with IDE you can go and you can do what? You can do automation testing. For that, what do you got to do? You got to go and then you got to download and prepare the environment. Did we prepare the environment? Yes, we did. How did we do? We went to Google and then we said download Selenium, and then we added Selenium IDE over here. After we added, I showed you, you can go and then you can do a script, and we did a script and then we automated that script and then we ran the script. Now, here is the deal. The assignment for today's session is I want you to send me a screenshot of something like this. What I am interested in these three things. When you send me a screenshot, I will be interested in this. I will be interested in all green color in here. I'll be interested in that, right? And I will see that, okay, you have gone to TrainingRite.net online. You have done some testing and you have passed the testing because it's a green. With this, what you would have achieved, that you would know as how to download Selenium IDE already, right? Now you would know as how to record and how to run an automation testing script, right? This is not script, these are commands. Now you are successfully running that. Now when you come back in the next class, I'm going to show you some more secrets of IDE, Now, for some of you who have already registered with us, you already have the videos. So I want you to go and then watch those videos so that it's no longer a secret. When you come, you already know as how Selenium IDE can help you with the code, how we can generate some code from Selenium IDE. Because we have to write the scripts. If we have to write the scripts, right? I will show you a trick that we don't even have to lift a finger and write the script. We don't have to type anything. Everything will be automatically given to you. Even the code is given to you. All Java code will be given to you. You just need to go open a tool, and that tool is basically called Eclipse. So you have to go download Eclipse, and then you have to prepare Eclipse to take the script, and you will be putting the script, JavaScript, Selenium script, into Eclipse, and we will run it from Eclipse. That way you will come to know that even without any programming, you can go and then you can do the testing. But I do not suggest, I do not advise that you should totally be relying only on the IDE, because you have to learn to write the scripts. So the next 7 classes is all the details about how to do automation testing using your Eclipse, right? And WebDriver. And one of the classes I will do RC server, but I will start WebDriver in the next class. So we will start WebDriver. I will also introduce you to something called JUnit, and we will go ahead and then we'll start to write some script. In the next class, I'll show you the secret of copying the code from IDE, and then later on we will do our first script. So next class is going to be very interesting. It'll lay some good foundation for you to learn Selenium. Okay, with that, I am going to stop here, and I'll take your questions if you have any questions. If you have any questions, let's talk. You and I, we can talk. I'll take your questions. If not, then basically for all of you folks who have not registered, I would say go ahead and then make the payment and register. We'll give you the videos, and then we'll invite you to the next class. Otherwise, only those of you who have made the payment will be invited to the next class. Now, if you are an unlimited student, meaning that if you have taken more courses, I would not know if you would be interested in this course or not. So you have to write an email to trainingrite@gmail.com saying that I want to attend this class, right? I want to attend this class. There's a good point here, which is I am a very dedicated student. You will find me doing all the assignments. Where am I going to send the assignments? Okay, you can send the assignments to assignments at TrainingRite.com. So I'm typing that email. I'll send it to you. Assignments at TrainingRite.com. So you would have seen it in your chat box. So it is assignments at TrainingRite.com. Right? So that's where you can send. Or if it comes to it, you can also send it to TrainingRite@gmail.com. Both the emails are good. You can send to any of the emails, right? Okay. Any other questions? Asad, I see your hand raised, so I don't know if you have a question. If you have a question, I will unmute you. I have unmuted you. Go.
Yeah. Irfan, I have a question. You said send me the snapshot. So how you can take the snapshot of your
okay,
you know,
this is what you got to do. That's a good question. Good point. This is what you got to do, Asad. Here is the screen, right? If you want to take a snapshot of that, put your one finger on Alt, A-L-T, Alt button, and keep it pressed, and with the other finger press on print screen. It's all the way on the top between the insert and delete button. There is print screen. So one finger is pressed on Alt. Now press the print screen, which I just did. And let's say you can let's say for this purpose, I'm showing it to you. I have let me just go back in here. Hang on. Let me just take that screenshot. Because I have many boxes open here, so it took the screenshot of the other box. So let me just take it again. So here is the screenshot that I've taken. You can put it in Word like that. So that's the screenshot. You can put it in either in Word, or better, you can do this. Open this. You can see my screen. Type Paint. And Paint is a program that comes with this, hang on, with MS Paint it is, I guess, MS Paint, yeah, the same one. So here you can do a Control V to paste it, right? So this is the screenshot. So now this one you can save it as file and save as, and just say day one homework. So either one, PNG, JPEG, BMP, anything is fine. Take it as a PNG. And give it as a day one homework. So you can call it Selenium April day one, right? Day one. And this you can email it, right? So this is the screenshot. This you can email, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Got it.
All right. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions, folks? If you have any questions, I can take your questions. Let me see. Anybody else? No questions, I guess. Okay, so that is it. Okay, Indrani, I guess there is a question here. So where are you? Yeah. Okay, I'll unmute you. Yeah, go, Indrani.
So, which Java version should we have?
Okay, the
Eclipse and all.
Yeah, that again, because today we did not do anything with Eclipse. Today we did not do anything with Java. So when I cover it in the next class, I'll share it with you. But if you have already bought this course, you will have the videos to watch. So just watch the videos and you will get it in those videos.
All
right. Okay. Let me see who else has got a question here. Yeah, you can call me. Yeah, you can call me after this session. Does Selenium need to open the browser? Does Selenium need to open the browser? Okay, that's a good question. For this one, keep the browser open. for this one, keep the browser open, and down the road I'll show you everything as how to write the code and how to make sure that we can open the browser. For this one, keep the browser open. All right. Okay, guys, I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll see you back again on Wednesday. Now, for all of you folks who wants to attend the class, you have to write an email to me. By the way, if you don't get the invitation by 2 o'clock, right, do not wait for the invitation till the last moment. 8 o'clock, the class starts about 8:05. I don't want you to call me at 8:05 and say that where is my link. You know, it becomes very upsetting, and you know, it's not good when I am already in the session and somebody had not received their link. So that will be a problem. So I prefer you letting us know if you have not received the invitation by 2 o'clock. Don't call, email to TrainingRite@gmail.com. Say that I'm a registered student. I am supposed to attend my class today. I have not received my invitation, and we will send it, right? So please don't wait till 8 o'clock. Send it or call us or do whatever it is by 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon. All right. Okay. Thank you again so much, and enjoy your evening. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Okay. Have a good evening.